Something that a lot of people ask me is how do you heal an addiction? People come to me and they share, Nico, I'm addicted to pornography, I'm addicted to alcohol, maybe to heavier drugs, cocaine. Some people are addicted to work, some people are addicted to food. And there's all these different ways in which they find distraction and in which they numb from something else. An addiction becomes an issue once it starts affecting negatively the life of the person, because eating a lot is just an issue when you start having health problems. Being addicted to sex or to pornography is only an issue when it gets in the way of your family life or when it gets in the way of a healthy sexual exploration. Being addicted to work, if it gets in the way of your life or of your health, then it's an issue. Same with drugs. So let's start by defining what's an addiction. And an addiction is anything that we do, anything that we use as a way to avoid the present moment, and which by doing it, our future is a little bit worse off. So to repeat that, an addiction is anything that we do to distract ourselves from this moment that has a negative impact in the future. Social media can be an addiction, work can be an addiction, working out can be an addiction. There are healthier addictions. But the essence is that we go to addictions when we're suffering, when we're in pain. And the way that people teach us to battle these addictions is through force, through willpower. Stop drinking, go on a diet, spend 21 days without pornography, work less. And we understand when we know that we just smile, yes, I'm gonna go on another diet. This time I'm gonna heal my relationship with food. Or this month I'm not gonna drink. Right? And what happens afterwards? Very often you come off the diet and you make up for those days and more days just in case. Most people break their fasting, their diets midway through. Most people come back and go out of control even more. So suppression is the worst way in which you can try to treat an addiction. What you really need to do is you need to understand two things. What is this addiction doing for me? It's useful, that's why you're doing it. Maybe alcohol distracts you from the fact that you hate your job or your family life. Maybe pornography distracts you from the sense of loneliness, from not having a partner that you could share your life and your moments with. Perhaps you work too much because you have this pain inside, this anxiety or this sense of inadequacy and low self-esteem, so outside achievements make up for that. So the first step in healing an addiction is understanding why it has been good for you, how it has served you. And this doesn't mean that it's a healthy thing, but it has helped you, and that's why you're doing it unconsciously. And now once you understand, oh wow, my addiction is helping this part of my life, then the next step is to go a layer deeper, which is, what is the emotion or the sensation that I'm running away from through this? For food, it tends to be anxiety for a lot of people, or sadness. There's a deep sadness that they try to avoid by eating, by being distracted, because food creates instant pleasure. It's the first drug that most people have access to, but that all of us have access to. It's the first thing that we can indulge in. For alcohol, it tends to be that, like freedom of self-expression. Some people drink because they feel more themselves in that moment. But in reality, they're running away from a sense of shyness, inadequacy, of rejection. So once you understand what the emotion is underlying that addiction, you can start your journey of healing, which starts by accepting that, embracing that, being able to look at it and see where it comes from, where it's going, what it needs, and learning to supply what it needs in a way that makes your life better. A lot of women overeat because there's an absence of love, self-love, romantic love, and then this creates a sense of comfort, right? If love is life and food is also life, then I'm gonna put more love into my mouth and feel more loved by life. But what they really need is openness. They don't realize that maybe there's already a lot of beautiful things in their life and they're not letting them in, they're closed off. They're suppressing their capacity to give love as well. So then they're just making it up with food. So when someone understands that, wow, this is coming from a lack of love, this is coming from sadness, they can start moving in a direction where they find a healthy way to take care of those needs after understanding the essence of that addiction. So to wrap it up, an addiction is not something bad. It's something that you have used to learn to take care of a part of you that was in pain. It has been useful for a while, but it's no longer useful. That's why it's bothering you. An addiction also has a root emotion. And unless you take care of that emotion, the addiction is not going to go away. You can quit drinking, you're going to start smoking. You can quit watching porn, you're going to start drinking. All these things are going to happen. So until you take care of that emotion, you're just going to be driven by another compulsion and another one and another one and another one. So just pay attention to that and make space for you to at least sit and understand what is underneath all these compulsions, all these addictions. And if you're interested, Ayahuasca helps with that. Ayahuasca brings us to a place of crystal clear clarity, where we're able to see, wow, this is what happened. This is where my addiction is coming from. This is where the pain originated. This is why I have not forgiven on this person or myself. Ayahuasca allows us to go in there and let that go from its source, removing a tree from its roots, not just chopping the leaves and expecting it to be gone by the next day. So if you have an addiction and you want to treat it, there's many ways you can do so on your own that are effective, and there's also ways that you can do that with the help of plant medicine, which are also very effective if you have commitment from your heart and you're open to it, and tend to be a little bit faster because it's a bit of a stronger experience. So if you're curious, if you have any questions about plant medicine and how it works with addictions, or if you're curious about just general ways of dealing and embracing those difficult emotions, do not hesitate to post them in the comments. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I love you and I'll see you soon.